Just thought I'd do another quick video on some of the stuff I've been working on over the last few days. The biggest thing I've been working on is something I've been wanting to do for ages, which is this sort of sky ambient volume technique. I haven't really seen anyone talk about it, but it's definitely not a new idea, and I'm certain other people have done a similar thing before. Um, so basically, what this does is it creates a volume over the whole map, and each point in that volume it calculates how much the sky is visible from that point. So it's basically like normal AO, but it's specifically from the sky, which means that it acts very differently in some cases. So this is with it on. If I turn it off, you can see what it's like without. So this is what it looked like before I implemented this technique. So you can see the ambience static over everything. So like if I look below this building here, it should be dark below there realistically, but it's not. It should be dark in all the crevices and stuff. I mean, I've got SSAO, but it doesn't cover cases like that. So if I turn back on, so you can see it creates this dark area below here, which is, so it looks much more realistic, and you get these nice effects like this sort of this bit of ambient here, which looks really nice. Without it, it's just kind of rubbish, doesn't it? It does have some issues in places, but the main thing I implemented this for, which works really nicely for, is these interior areas, because the problem is before they were all really bright because they had the same ambient as everything outside, which had to be bright because, you know, realistically outside you have a hell of a lot of ambient light coming from the sky. So if I turn it off in here, you can see it looks pretty ghastly, frankly. But the thing is, if you turn down the ambient to make the inside look nice, then the outside starts looking horrible and a complete mess. So if we put this back on, you can see it looks much nicer from outside. And it also means I can do HDR from outside to inside much more easily. So if I bump up the max exposure, I just need to do this by default. So you can see these lights in here become a lot more vibrant, and the outside is incredibly bright. Then we go out, and it's going to do some automatic exposure. And from outside, you know, you can barely see those lights. Then we go inside, and it sort of fades in nicely. So that works really nicely. So I guess now I'll talk a little bit about some of the issues with it, because, you know, there's always going to be issues. One of which, actually, I'll go back inside, because one of them's in here. You can see these edges here are light, and the reason that's happening is because it's missampling in the volume, and it's because the volume doesn't have high enough resolution. That area is actually light in the volume. So this particular issue is really easy to fix, because all I need to do is just make this roof bigger, which is easy enough to do. And that'll improve any shadow artifacts as well. So that one's easy to fix. The other one is less so, and if I go over to these buildings over here, you'll be able to see it. It's the same issue with light bleeding, but in this case, like here for example, it's a lot more difficult to fix. I'm not really entirely sure how I want to handle that at the moment. The ultimate solution to it is just having a higher resolution volume, but it's already really high resolution and uncompressed at the moment, so it currently eats up like 128 meg of VRAM, which is a lot. But I believe you can use DXT compression on volume textures, so I should be able to get that down to 32 meg for the current volume size I have. And I might be able to do some more tricks to compress it further or use smaller volumes, we'll have to see. Because right now it's a 1024 by 1024 by 128 volume. So I could probably do some work on shrinking that down a bit if I can remove some of the artifacts. And yeah, that's about it for that really. It's taken me a while to actually get this working, but I'm really pleased with the results. I was kind of expecting it to look a bit better than it does, but I mean, it does a pretty good job already. If I go to some areas and turn it on off again, like here, if you look below the rocks there, turn it off, it becomes very flat very quickly. It's had a lot more depth with the sky ambient volumes on. Some other areas is particularly good. Let's have a look. Oh yes, this sort of castle area here, especially things like these bridges, for example. If I turn it off, you see again it just becomes very flat and you lose a lot of depth. It just looks a lot more realistic like this. Again with this bridge and this whole area over here, it becomes very flat. The trees, you can see below them, they all have these nice darkened areas below them that disappear if I turn them off. So yeah, it just makes the scene look a lot more real. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with them. And they currently take about 10 seconds to, actually no, about more like 5 seconds at the moment actually, to calculate on my PC at load time. And then in Engine it's only a single extra text example in the lighting renderer, so that only adds on some fractional amount of milliseconds. So it's basically free at runtime essentially, and it means that I've got a nice ambient solution for people who can't run SSAO, so that's nice as well. Not sure what I want to look at doing in the next week or so. I really need to get back to doing some more gameplay related stuff. Stuff to do with AI, hopefully. If I can get some decent AI going around, then we'll be a lot further towards actually having a game done. So yeah, hopefully I'll have some AI stuff to show next time. Yep, so thanks for checking this out, and I'll see you guys later.